Today I'm going to concentrate on A-level biology, and I would like to look at the question interpretation for UNEB 2022, paper 2, question 1, which was concerning data analysis. Just like you're seeing here in the video. The question in paper 2, question 1, was as follows, just like you see here. The question is compulsory and carries 40 marks. Therefore, each student has to attempt it. Studies were carried out to show how some of the complex organic compounds, such as lignin, cellulose, and pectin present in leaves are broken down by the action of organisms feeding on decaying organic matter over time. The results were plotted on the graph as shown in the figure, and we are requested to study the figure below and respond to the questions that follow. We were presented with a graph plotted on a graph paper where time after leaves fell in weeks was quantified as the independent variable on the x-axis, and percentage of substrate remaining was quantified as the dependent variable on the y-axis. Graphs of lignin, cellulose, and pectin were plotted, and the curves obtained were as plotted. Now, questions that followed included part A Roman 1, describe the rate at which each of the complex organic molecules is broken down. Then we are requested to explain our descriptions in part A Roman 1. We are to explain the ecological significance of the process of breakdown of plant materials shown in the figure 1, which was the graph. We are requested to explain how fungi are able to break down plant material. We are requested to go ahead and give the importances of lignin in plants and how it is useful to man. So when you look at our graph, before we start mentioning or trying to discuss the entire graph, I would like us to first break it down and interpret it in the best way possible before we attend to the questions. As you're seeing here, our question interpretation, in this question, there is always a stem. A stem is the very first statement which comes before you meet the graph. And when you look at the statement of the graph, you will identify that we are dealing with a process of decomposition. Our process from which the graph was obtained was decomposition. And when you look at the factor being investigated that affects rate of decomposition, factor affecting the rate of decomposition, according to this question, the factor being discussed is nature of the organic matter, nature of the organic matter. In this case, different compounds have been given, different complex molecules have been given, and the complex compounds within the organic matter included lignin, which is, we all know that it is a structural component in plants, therefore it is very hard. It has a very complex structure. It is a non-carbohydrate derivative. non-carbohydrate derivative, thus broken down slowly by very few organisms, because not all organisms will be able to produce an enzyme that will break down this lignin. The other components include cellulose. We have cellulose. This one is relatively hard, less complex compared to lignin. You realize that cellulose is a carbohydrate derivative. Therefore, many organisms, decomposing organisms, can secrete cellulase enzyme, which breaks down the cellulose. That means its breakdown will be relatively faster than the breakdown of lignin. When you look at pectin, this one has the least complex structure. That means it can easily be broken down. Number two, carbohydrate derivative. And many organisms secrete pectinase enzyme. Which breaks down pectin. So after knowing that in our stem of the question, you identify that these organic compounds being discussed, or the complex compounds being discussed, were present in leaves. And because they are present in leaves, we shall only decompose them when there is leaf fall. So if leaves do not fall, don't expect the decomposers to work on them. So when we start answering our question, we have part A, Roman 1, which was requesting us to describe the rate at which each of the complex organic compounds is broken down. 8 marks were attached to this question, and as we are discussing it, you realize that they are telling us to describe the variable which is indirectly being represented by percentage of the substrate remaining, and it is located on the y-axis. That means we are indirectly being told to describe the graph. In that case, the rate of the reaction is not directly observed on the graph. Therefore, you need some logic to ensure that you can provide solutions to such a question. Number one, if you see the percentage of substrate remaining, that means there is, when it is 100%, it means there is no decomposition of that organic matter. If the percentage of the substrate remaining reduces, it means the rate of decomposition is increasing indirectly on the graph. Therefore, our very first answer will be, since we are describing the graph, we begin with the very initial point, which is, if I consider the graph of lignin, which is at 0 weeks, at 0 weeks of leaf fall, 0 weeks of leaf fall, there was no decomposition, or there was no breakdown of lignin. My second point will be from 0 to 24 weeks after leaf fall, after leaves fell, comma, rate of breakdown of lignin slightly increased. I think that is very clear on our graph. We look at cellulose and we handle the description. Before leaf fall, that is initially all at 0 weeks, there was no breakdown. There was no breakdown of cellulose. Then when we start considering the range, we shall say from 0 to 4 weeks of after leaf fall. After leaf fall, rate of breakdown of cellulose gradually increased from 4 to 12 weeks after leaf fall. Rate of breakdown of cellulose rapidly increased. Then from 12 to 24 weeks after leaf fall, rate of breakdown of cellulose gradually increased. That is how we are going to respond to that of cellulose. Lastly, we shall look at pectin, the graph for pectin, and we shall say before leaf fall, there was no breakdown. There was no breakdown of pectin. From 0 to 4 weeks after leaf fall, rate of breakdown of pectin gradually increased from 4 to 12 weeks after leaf fall. Rate of breakdown of pectin rapidly increased from 12 to 20 weeks after leaf fall. Rate of breakdown of pectin gradually increased. And from 20 to 24 weeks after leaf fall, rate of breakdown of pectin remained constant. So with part A, Roman 2, which included the description, I'm very sure our description is now very clear. We look at part B, and as we're answering part B, we aim at the action verbs which have been mentioned as per the question. They are telling us to, it is part A, Roman 2. The question is telling us to explain your description. Explain your description in A, Roman 1. Explain your description in A, Roman 1. The action verb in this question, our action verb is explain, which means we have to give reasons for the descriptions we've made in the previous part, which was part A, Roman 1. That's why we shall begin with the description for lignin, like the way we discussed it, that before leaf fall, there was no breakdown. There was no breakdown of lignin due to absence of the organic matter. Due to absence of the organic matter. So since leaves had not yet fallen off from the plant, definitely there is nothing to be decomposed. And because of that, lignin at the start of the experiment wasn't decomposed. Then slight increase in rate of breakdown of lignin from 0 to 24 weeks was due to a very complex structure of lignin. The structure of lignin is very complicated. That's why it is hard for it to be broken down. The other reason could be lignin being a non-carbohydrate derivative. It is a non-carbohydrate derivative. Thus, very few organisms release an enzyme that breaks it down. That's why its breakdown is very, very slight. And because of that, we shall have our explanations coping up with the description we made. When we come to cellulose, we shall say that before leaf fall, there was no breakdown. There was no breakdown of cellulose. And the reason still remains the same, because of absence of the organic matter. Nothing to be decomposed at that point. Then gradual increase in the rate of decomposition, of cellulose from 0 to 4 weeks was due to little organic matter available as a result of gradual increase in leaf fall. Gradual increase in leaf fall. So very few leaves are falling off. When you look at the next slope, which we described as rapid, we shall say that rapid increase in rate of breakdown of cellulose from 4 to 12 weeks was due to accumulation of organic matter That's number one. The next reason would be the less complex structure of cellulose, which allows rapid breakdown and being a carbohydrate derivative, many organisms secrete cellulase enzyme that breaks down cellulose. Because of that, we shall have a rapid increase in the rate of breakdown of cellulose. Then gradual increase in rate of breakdown of cellulose, is due to, in the rate of breakdown of cellulose, if we give a range from 12 to 24 weeks, is due to gradual reduction in the available organic matter. As we plan to finish the explanations, the next is pectin, and this one we agreed that no breakdown of pectin before leaf fall is due to absence of organic matter. There is nothing to be broken down. That's why we don't have breakdown of pectin. Gradual increase in rate of breakdown of pectin from 0 to 4 weeks was due to gradual increase in the organic matter, to be decomposed. Then rapid increase in rate of breakdown of pectin from 4 to 12 weeks was due to abundant organic matter available. Number 2, simple complex structure of pectin that is readily broken down and many organisms which secrete pectinase enzyme to break down pectin, which is a carbohydrate, which is a carbohydrate derivative. So since it is derived from carbohydrates, and very many organisms use carbohydrate metabolism, they can be in position to secrete pectinase enzyme, which is involved in the breakdown of pectin. Gradual increase in rate of breakdown of pectin from 12 to 20 weeks was due to reduced organic matter available. And lastly, constant rate of breakdown of pectin from 20 to 24 weeks was due to complete decomposition of the organic matter. So that's how I expected you to attend to part A Roman 2, which was composed of 14 complete marks. So the explanation we could provide could at least earn us 14 marks, just like the way we've stipulated it in this very video. Part B of the question, tells us to explain the ecological significance of the process of breakdown of plant materials shown in figure 1, shown in the graph. Of what importance is this process? Remember, we called the process decomposition. So of what importance is decomposition in an ecosystem, and how does it assist in the occurrence of a complete ecosystem? So to answer this question, points include: number one, allows recycling of nutrients, by organisms, useful for plant growth, which is utilized by plants to ensure that they can also come up with the good yields. Allows transfer of energy to decomposers in an ecosystem. That is the mode through which decomposers obtain energy. Then cleans the environment, by reducing wastes or litter, avoiding pollution. So here, the question had quite some good marks. However, it could depend on how you can generate answers for you to come up with the more appropriate answers. The next question wanted us to come up with an explanation. Explain how fungi are able to break down plant materials. How fungi are able to break down plant materials. Which mechanism do you expect fungi to be using in order to break down the plant materials? So that was the question, and answers we expected include fungi. This fungi carries out the type of digestion we call extracellular digestion, carries out extracellular digestion. That is our very first marking point. How does it occur? By secreting digestive enzymes, outside the cell to the plant materials, which break down the materials chemically, into simple into simple, soluble, and absorbable substances. And simple, soluble, and absorbable substances which are absorbed by the hyphae of the fungus. By the rhizoids into the hyphae of the fungus. Enzymes secreted are specific to a particular substrate. Just like we've seen cellulase for cellulose, pectinase for pectin. So the specificity of the enzyme is ensured such that a particular enzyme breaks down a particular plant material. And that's how fungi are able to break down the plant materials, just like we've seen in the graph. Part D of the graph, Roman 1, wants us to look at the importances. We want to look at the importances of lignin to plants. Of what importance is lignin to plants? And we are to explain this particular part. However, we shall say it's very hard, and because of that, acts as a barrier to entry of pathogens, hence offering protection. Offering protection to the plant. Number 2, anchors or provides support to the plant due to its mechanical strength. Provides reinforcement, to mature protoxylem, and this one allows elongation. The other is providing tensile strength to mature xylem vessel in order to prevent to prevent the tubes from collapsing when conducting water under tension. The other is increasing mechanical strength and skeletal support to plants, all trees, all woody plants, depending on what you want to use. So those are some of the importances of lignin to a plant. And lastly, which was Roman 2, we wanted importances of still lignin to man. How useful is lignin to man? And what can it be in position to do for us, the human beings? My first point, we all agree that since lignin is very hard, just like we discussed in the explanation, so lignin is very hard and has a rigid matrix. It cements and anchors cellulose fibers together, giving wood good quality for construction. The other point is that it is used in synthesis of fiberglass and carbon fiber, used in the synthesis of paper, textiles, among others. And that marks the end of question 1, 2022 in BIOS paper 2. For more information, please subscribe to my channel, Smart Science, for solutions of other numbers and clarification on any biological concept you would like to understand. I remain Smart Science and thank whoever is watching this video and urging you to continue subscribing, sharing the video to other colleagues of ours. You share my link, you like my video, and comment where need is required.